Nathan, did you know there's over 16,000 mortgage brokers across Australia?
With that many mortgage brokers, how do you know if you've got the right one? Today, we'll show you some questions you can ask your mortgage broker to see if they're the real deal.
All right, number one, Nathan, I reckon it's a good question to ask your mortgage broker's experience. So what would you ask? What do you look for?
Well, firstly, you want to know what their background is. Have they been in banking? How long have they been a mortgage
Were they
broker?
a used car salesman before? They used to bake bread? I don't know, it's important because the reality is becoming a mortgage broker in Australia can be as simple as doing a 1-week course. So you need to find out if they've actually had experience in the industry. Have they done banking before? Do they own any properties? What sorts of customers do they help? All these questions can help you build up a bit of a profile so you know if that mortgage broker is the right fit for you or if you're getting a bit of a noob, really.
Number 2, research your mortgage broker online. So practically, how does this look? Do I just jump on Google and search the name, search a company, and do a bit of stalking on Facebook or Instagram? Or
Sounds like this guy's got experience. Yeah, you're completely right. So you want to jump on Google, have a look on Google Maps is usually a good source. Facebook's another one. There's other independent ones like Product Review, where the owners and the mortgage brokers can't actually doctor these. They have to be genuine reviews, and in a lot of cases, they have to be verified people. So they're a good way to go through, see what kinds of customers they have, and usually people that leave big, meaningful reviews, if they leave a paragraph, you know they're pretty genuine. Whereas if they just say A1, good work, you might be a bit sus on those reviews. But they're just a good way to get a sense on how the mortgage brokers helped those people and their previous customers in the past, and if they're going to be able to help you in the future. Number 3 is ask the broker why it's better to go through them rather than the bank. So Nathan, what would you say to this?
good question there. And I guess typically speaking, what you'll find is the broker will give you far more options than you can traditionally with one bank.
Well, I like the example of saying that sitting in front of one broker is like sitting in front of 30 banks. They're going to give you all those options across a wide array of lenders. They'll do banks, building societies, mortgage managers, non-banks. There's heaps of options there because you might not necessarily fit with the major banks. Now, Nathan, what's the added advantage of this? I guess you worked in the bank before. When you did that, did you used to give people options from down the road? Would they tell you that there's a better deal down the road?
Yeah, exactly right. So it gives you an opportunity to understand where the best option might be for yourself and what loan option is going to be most suitable for you. Also, if you do end up, unfortunately, getting knocked back from the bank that you apply for, the good news is when you've had your application with the broker, they can take all the same information and put it somewhere else. So you don't necessarily have to keep giving the same information over and over each bank you go to.
Pretty cool.
Number 4, check if they're a member of an association. So there's 2 main associations in Australia, and that's the FBAA, known as the Finance Broking Association of Australia, and the MFAA. Jaden, tell me the differences between the two, and should I be concerned if they're registered with the FBAA or the MFAA, or what's the real difference there?
Yeah, I think the main thing is that most mortgage brokers have to be licensed with one of these associations to be able to get accreditations through banks. So if they don't have an MFAA or an FBAA membership, it could mean that they're going to put you to a bit of a dodgy lender, and you don't really want that. So it's a good way of making sure that they're being held to professional standards. Now, with both of these associations, they make mortgage brokers keep up with a certain amount of education per year. They have to get CPD points. They have to do ongoing training and understand and keep up with the market. So it's a really good test to understand that your broker is actually properly accredited for 1, they're not going to send you to dodgy lenders for 2, and that they're keeping their education and up to the latest standards and changes in the industry.
Number 5, check your mortgage broker's credentials. That's as simple as jumping on ASIC's website and doing a check based on their credit license or credit representative number.
Yeah, so again, this is another good one to see if they've had a bit of a dicey past. So brokers might be on there, they might be coming to see you and saying they're a mortgage broker, but there could be the case that they've actually been struck off ASIC's board, which is where all the mortgage brokers need to be registered. So this is a good way just to make sure that they're all legit, they're all above board, and that they don't have a dicey history that is going to affect you in the future.
Number 6, find out how they research to find the solution that's going to be right for you. So traditionally what we've found is sometimes with brokers, they'll just flat out show you different options and say they all work for you.
Right.
With lending criteria continuously changing, you've got to be careful of that because you could be applying for the bank with the best rate, the lowest fees, the best overall based on the product, But if you don't meet the bank's credit criteria, you could get knocked back and wasting people's time. So traditionally, if your broker is researching and you're giving them the information before the meeting, you can be sure that they're going to be looking to find the solution that's going to work for you.
Listen, I don't like to say it, but a lot of those comparison sites are like this. For example, you go on there, you put on you want to buy a property for $400,000, you've got your 10% deposit, and you're ready to go. And they'll give you all these mouth-watering, eye-dropping, these amazing rates that you're like, wow, I can get a loan for 2%. Unfortunately, Nathan's right, because if you're self-employed, you might not meet that criteria. If you're buying an apartment that's too small, you might not actually fit again. So there's lots of different criteria there, and there's other costs. So you have to check out one of our other videos where we go into the different costs of lender's mortgage insurance across the banks and how that actually can affect you and cost you tens of thousands of dollars extra. Question number 7 is just that. You got to question how much the mortgage broker is getting paid and how they're getting paid. So Nathan, talk us through this.
So all mortgage brokers do disclose the amount that they get paid by the lender. Some also charge a fee for this service. So typically you would find that out at the start when you're having conversations with your broker. If they do charge a fee, most don't charge a fee as they get paid by the lender on success of looking out for you. So ask your broker, how do they get paid? Do you charge me a fee at the start for your services, or do you get paid by the lender and as such won't charge me?
Cost you $0.
Number 8, ask your mortgage broker for a list of their lenders on the panel. Jaden, why should I do this? What's so important to understand how many lenders they've got on their panel?
Yeah, so while a lot of brokers might advertise they have access to 40 or 50 or 100 different lenders, the reality is, with the majority of lenders, say the major banks like CBA or St. George or whoever else, you need to actually maintain an accreditation with them. So you need to initially sign up with them. Some lenders even have certain hurdles that you need to give them a certain amount of deals per year, otherwise they'll take you off their accreditation list. There's also a further hurdle with some lenders like Bank West and Commonwealth Bank, where you need extra educational requirements, so you need to have done a diploma. So all these things boil down to, whilst a broker might say, I've got this huge panel of lenders, the reality is they might only have accreditations with 3 or 4. So that might mean you don't really have all the options in the market, and they might be just pushing you to their favorite 2 banks. So again, ask what lenders they're accredited with, find out. Usually they'll give you a list of their top 6, but see if they've got 7 or 8 accreditations and make sure they can actually help you out and give you a choice, and you're not just getting pushed into one option. Number 9 is prepare a few questions to have for them before you make that first phone call. Now, Nathan, these aren't crazy ones. They can be simple as, hey, how does my credit card affect my lending? What do you say to that? Does it affect your lending?
It absolutely does. So the higher your credit limit on your credit card, even if you're not using the credit card, it will reduce your limit. So something to be aware of, especially before you apply for any applications, because that can have a huge impact on your assessment. I think the follow-up question on that is asking questions like, what's the comparison rate? Is it a good time to fix? Is it
what other fees are included? Are there exit fees? It's all that simple stuff that, like you're right, Nathan, you've got to go past just the basic questions. Even ask, are you familiar with the process? How do you help me throughout? Just simple stuff like that you can kind of get a bit of an understanding just across, below the surface, so that they can help you out. Which then follows on to question number 10, and that's fully explain your needs. So when you're having that initial conversation with the mortgage broker, make sure that they know what you're looking for. If you're looking for the cheapest rate, or if you're looking for the fastest approval turnaround time, or maybe you're buying an odd property in Mildura. I don't know. Fully explain those needs to make sure the mortgage broker can really understand them and give you solutions that are actually tailored for you rather than just an off-the-shelf thing that might not quite fit. Number 11, bit of a weird one, but ask if they've been given any awards and any commendations in the industry. Now, the mortgage broker industry, like I said, it's pretty huge. There's 16,000 brokers. And once a year, those associations we mentioned earlier, the MFAA and the FBAA, have awards for their members. They only recognize the best of the best at these awards. Now, it's worth asking your mortgage broker, have they received anything on them? What have they been recognized for? If they've been awarded best marketing, or they might have been given best customer service, you might be able to get a bit of an insight on that and how they're going to be able to help you better.
Number 12, slow down, don't rush. So remember, before you go ahead, ask heaps of questions, get an understanding of the process, get an understanding of what happens if something goes wrong. Will your mortgage broker be there to help you throughout the way? As well as that, if they're a one-man band, what happens if they've got holidays coming up? What if they get sick?
Can have a kid.
Will someone be around to help you out? So make sure you ask plenty of questions. Understand if something goes wrong, what's going to happen.
Number 13 is, this isn't a question as much as just a statement. Don't make too many mortgage applications. So Nathan, why would you not want to make too many home loan applications? Why wouldn't I lodge a loan with an Aussie home loans broker, a mortgage choice broker with you? I don't know. What's wrong with that?
It will affect your credit file. So the amount of inquiries you do on your credit will reduce your credit report and your credit score. What that means is in the future, when you go to apply for more finance, you may find it difficult to attain that. So be careful. Try not to do too many applications because it does have an impact on your credit.
Number 14, ask if the bank's offering any incentives. Now, at the moment, Nathan, there's a bunch of deals out there where if you're looking at switching home loans and moving providers, the banks are throwing money at you.
Yeah, they'll give you frequent flyer points. They'll give you cash backs. They'll do a heap of different random and wonderful things, as well as sometimes they'll waive lenders' mortgage insurance up to 85%. So depending on where the market is and what the offers are, it might be handy in asking and finding out if there is actually any incentives that may make sense for you to go with one particular bank over another.
Number 15 is, that's a bit old school, but always ask for everything in writing. Now, it's always good dealing on the phone, the mortgage broker to try and get you. You might say, we've got these really good rates, or we've got no fees, and we'll do all this stuff. But it's not true until it's in writing. So if you want to get more details, it's as simple as that. Just say, hey, can you send me an email with the interest rate or the other information we've discussed? I'll look at it and review. And then once it's in writing, at least you know it's true and you can rely on that. Number 16, and the last one, is don't risk having your home loan declined. Now, it's kind of putting all those points together. You want to work with a mortgage broker that has a really good understanding of credit policy, that has a bunch of different banks on their panel, and that has experience in dealing with difficult loans. Because the reality is these days, the banks are making it tougher and tougher. There was a stat last year that said over 40% of home loan applications were declined. Nathan, what are some stuff that you can do to help yourself have the best chance of getting your loan approved?
I think also understand how many first homeowners or investors or how many people like you does your broker deal with. If they're seeing one or two people a week, well then they might not see so many different scenarios and changes in the environment where they can help you navigate and potentially get you in a situation where your loans decline. So as you said, Jaden, go through the points we mentioned above. Make sure you ask plenty of questions. Feel what you get the right vibe with your broker, and if you think it's the right person, the right fit, then you know you've got the right person.
Perfect. So that's it from us. Which was your favorite point? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up or subscribe. And if you've got any questions, hit us up at huntergalloway.com.au.